All right, so we are going to talk about fundraising within a race today. And there are a lot of features that we can get into the nitty-gritty. This is not for today. We have 20 minutes to fit in a lot of information, so we're gonna move pretty quick. We do have people answering questions, so feel free to ask your questions throughout and we will try to get to them. If we don't, we will be responding afterwards. And maybe I'll have a little room for questions after. I can't promise anything. It depends on how quick we get through this. So without any more hesitation, let's get into it. My name is Whitney. I am a senior account manager here at RunSignup. And just to bring some personal aspect to this Zoom meeting and just all the Zooms that we've been doing, I live in Colorado and I love trail running, I love mountain biking, and I'm also a massive advocate for heavy strength training when it comes to endurance training. So if you're into the endurance thing and you want to have a conversation about it, I'm more than happy to. We can do that after this presentation. All right, so what you're going to learn today. You are going to learn how to set up your basic charity that leads into the individual and team fundraising. You're going to learn how to customize your fundraising, and you're also going to learn how to optimize that experience for your fundraiser. I'm going to show you a feature that we have on our platform called Charity Partner that can increase donations. It's not necessarily tied to fundraising, but it's just a great feature and I want to touch on it. And then we're going to quickly breeze over the reporting. So going into donations and fundraising setup, let's get right into how we set up a charity. So if you have your screen, you'll see if you're on your race dashboard, you'll see the donations tab as well as the fundraising tab. You're going to want to click into donations. And then once you do that, you're going to want to click into setup. From setup, you're going to see that you can click on multiple areas right here. But you want to click on general settings. This is how you're going to get your donations, your charity into the system. So it will pop you into a page that you see here, and you're going to enter in your start date for when that charity is going to go live, and then an end date. Now, we highly recommend that you put an end date in there that exceeds when your race is actually going to end, because what's going to happen for you if you put an end date that's the day of your race and you want to continue collecting donations, it's going to end that donation period and you're going to have to open up a brand new donation period. And when that happens, all of the money that you've raised is going to not show because you've opened a new donation period. And this is just something I wanted to touch on because it happens often on our platform where it's like, oh, my money disappeared, but it's really that your donation period ended and you opened a new one. So you want to set your goal, and then you're going to put in your description. And that description is going to be the description for the charity that you are representing. So that's the basics to get that charity set up. Now that you've done that, you're going to go on to step 2 and actually set up that fundraiser. So on step 2, you're going to go into the fundraising portion of the dashboard and click on individual fundraisers. The dashboard looks very similar. You click on general settings, and then you're going to be popped into where you can set up an individual fundraising message. This individual fundraising message is pretty much the default for any of your fundraisers. So you would want to put information in there that's like, I'm fundraising because, or we're fundraising for this charity, and add in information about the charity and why you're fundraising. Then you can go ahead and put in that default individual fundraising goal. This isn't a required goal. This is just okay, we want everybody to basically fundraise whatever, $100. And the last piece of the puzzle on this page would be the fundraising rules and minimums. So I'm not going to read this verbatim because you can see it on the screen, but you can set it up where you do not allow new fundraisers without actually registering for the event. We default to allow people to fundraise if they are registering or if they are really just coming to your page and they want to fundraise for the charity. You can have fundraisers link to a specific event, so not everybody fundraise, and then you can force or require everyone to fundraise. And that's essentially what we're going to cover here as well, the different types of setups for your fundraisers. You don't have to have, it's not a one size fits all on our platform. You can have all of your participants fundraise. You could have some participants. So like, let's say you have a big race and you have a half marathon, but you also want to offer charity bibs or a charity half marathon where they have to raise a minimum amount of money to actually do the race. You could have those specific events, the charity half marathon, raise money, and then the regular half marathon, they don't have to. And then you could have it where it's just kind of a free for all of, oh, I see this, maybe I want to raise money. Let me check it out. It's all up to you. And it is 100% based off of how you choose to fundraise for your race. How important is it to you? And the third and final setup, just to get the basics out of the way, is team fundraising. The team fundraising is it's not required. It's something that's optional, and it is a way just to kind of get a community together, as well as create a team camaraderie of, we're going to all fundraise and we're in this together and we're going to achieve our goal together. So you'll see here, it's kind of a similar setup. The only thing that's different is that you have all of these options up at the top. Team fundraising, we can get really specific, and we have a lot of different functionality that can really create a robust fundraising platform for you. I'm not going to talk about that today. I'm going to talk about the key things that you need to know. The first one is the allow users to set up a new fundraising team. If you do not click this, then participants cannot set up a new fundraising team. So this is something that you want to make sure that if you want them to create fundraising teams, you need to have that selected. The other one is requiring that fundraisers join or create a fundraising team. This is if you want to make sure that if they get through that registration flow, they have to be a fundraiser. And the last one that's part of this important note is that you can force a group and team to also become a fundraiser, and our system will actually automatically auto-populate that group team name into the group fundraiser. But what I want to drive home here, because I literally talk to people every single week about this, and I'm sure Jake and Elizabeth and Amanda and Chris do as well, is that race groups and teams in our platform are a completely separate feature than our fundraising teams. They are totally different. If you set up a race group and team, it is not creating a fundraiser. If you set up fundraising teams, it is not creating race groups teams. So they are different. Your reporting is different. The only way that we can actually marry them together is by clicking on this force new race groups teams to create new fundraising teams. So I'm sorry if I felt a little aggressive in that. It's just something that we talk about often, and 99% of the time, you're only going to want one. You're either going to want fundraising teams or race groups teams. It's a unique case that you would want to utilize both, because it just depends on what you're actually going for with your fundraising goals. All right, moving on. We are going to get into some of these advanced features to customize your fundraising experience. The first one would be the fundraising minimums. So this is where you could set a minimum for your fundraiser, saying you must raise $50 in order to participate in this race. There are two ways that you could do this. You could do it with the fee not waived, so they will pay the registration fee to get into the race, and then they will raise that $50. Or you could do it fee waived, where they get into the race for free, and you're basically just, it's a promise that they're making to you that they're going to raise that $50. Most of the time, we go with fee not waived. The reason for this is because if you do fee waived, and let's say they don't achieve the $50, even if you get their credit card information, what if their credit cards decline? Then you're chasing after people to get this money that you don't want to waste time doing. So if you just have them pay up front and get that money up front, you can incentivize them and reward them later on. And that's what we're going to get into next, is how to reward them if they do pay that registration fee up front. We use our fundraising rewards. And with our fundraising rewards, you can refund their registration fee. So if they do hit that $50 mark, you can say, great, thank you so much. We greatly appreciate this. We're going to give you your money back. So you can refund them their registration fee and they do get to register for free. But they have to hit that goal. And so you're just incentivizing them to work harder and to actually achieve the goal that you're putting it out there. And everybody loves getting money. So of course they're going to want to work to get their refund. So that's a way that you can use fundraising rewards. Another way that you can customize your fundraising is by customizing the fundraising page. You can change what the header says. Right now it defaults to fundraiser or fundraisers. But we have some races that maybe have like 5 or 10 different charities. So they change the header to charity, where it would be that you select your charity and then you can fundraise on behalf of that charity. We also have a way that you'll see down here where you can change the way that the fundraising is displayed on your race registration page, whether that be in a menu tab or whether that be in the actual drop-down menu. And another incentive to fundraise are fundraising milestones. Now with our fundraising milestones, it's basically just sending a milestone to your fundraiser saying, congratulations on reaching this specific dollar amount. Another way that you can up-level that is by adding swag. So if they hit $100 in fundraising, you could send them a sweatshirt. You could say, you get a sweatshirt if you hit $100. Or another great way of just showing how much their dollars are impacting is by telling them exactly what their money is going to. Your $400 donation is going to programs for all of these young females and whatever it might be. So that's just another way that you can really engage your participant. And then one of my favorite parts about the fundraising is how epic our fundraising pages are. You can truly personalize this as pretty detailed as you want. You can upload your profile picture, you can add a slideshow, you can put your personal story of why this means so much to you and really grab the attention of your donors. You have your easy share buttons. You have immediate calls to action on that page, so it's very clear what you want them to do. And your fundraiser has full control over making edits and really customizing their own page. So it's a cool way to really get that story out. And one of the last features, or underrated features, I would say, on our platform are the fundraising emails and customization. So we have fundraising email templates that you can utilize to basically set up for your fundraisers that they can share to their donors. We also have customization on every single step of the way, from your participant going through the process of signing up as a fundraiser, making a donation. These are all places that you can edit and customize to make it more streamlined to your race. And this is where you find them. So under the fundraising tab for the templates, you would go fundraising emails and then fundraising email templates. To customize the standard emails that go out, just like your confirmation donation email, your confirmation fundraising email, that's going to be under the individual fundraisers, customization and display settings. So moving on from there, we talk about the best fundraising tool that we have here on RunSignup, and that is our Facebook integration. So if you do have a payment account set up with your 501c3 charity on Facebook, you can connect that to RunSignup. It's a very simple process and it creates an incredible result. So we found with our RunSignup stats this year that collectively 48.7% of fundraisers reached their goal when they use the Facebook fundraising versus 29.7% that just fundraised on their own. Facebook is such an incredibly powerful tool for you to use to get the message out and for your participants or your fundraisers to collect donations. And what you see on the screen, this is what pops up when they complete their registration. It directs them to create their fundraising page on Facebook. So they just click that blue button, they set up their page. I'm sure majority of you have been on Facebook and you see what those Facebook fundraisers actually look like when people share in their stories. So that's what it's going to look like. And it's a super simple way to set it up in the back end. So it's right under fundraising, Facebook fundraiser setup. It's a simple setup. It's increasing your donations. There is a $0 processing fee through Facebook when it comes to donations. So that declines your processing fee when it comes to a total on RunSignup. And it is, again, the best way to spread a message. So now that we've gone through all of the advanced features with our with our fundraising, let's talk about the charity partner component. And again, this is not necessarily fundraising, but I felt like it was important, so I wanted to share it with you guys. So you can create charity partners on your race. And the main reason why you would do this is if you had multiple charities that you were allowing fundraising for, or if you were just allowing collecting donations for. So that is your number one reason why you would do it. The second reason would be that you want to directly pay your charity instead of you collecting the funds. So we can do direct payment to charities, and that's through setting up the charity partner. So that's a huge benefit. The charity partner gets their own personal dashboard. They have their own reporting. So it kind of takes that load off of you to do that extra work. And then the last little piece that is my favorite is the donation checkbox on the transaction page. This donation checkbox, we have found through statistics, has tripled the average amount of donations raised for a charity. That is a big deal, tripling your donations just because there's a tiny little checkbox on the transaction page. And this is what the checkbox looks like. You can put in any dollar amount you want. We usually recommend between $2 to $3, but anywhere, whatever fits your specific race. All right. Now into the reporting. I'm keeping it within the time frame, and I call it the TLDR version because it is there is a lot in there, and so we're just going to breeze through it because I am getting close to time. So where you would find your reporting: fundraising, reports, fundraising, and teams. That's where your reporting lives for your fundraisers. You can search on donation periods, you can search on fundraising type, on the specific charities that you're looking for, or if you know who you're looking for and you just want to see a person, you can type in that name. You can also export all of this data. And we also have a separate Facebook fundraising report under fundraising, Facebook fundraisers. And this is so that you can see how much is coming from Facebook. You can also export this data as well. So with all of that being said, we made it through. We have maybe a minute left. Maybe we could take, if there is a question or two we could potentially take, or we can just call it a day and we can reach out to you.
So someone asked, can we still access donor information if the money is going straight to the charity partner, or can only they see it?
You can still access it. You have full access to all of the reporting that comes in. It's just an additional feature where the charity now also has access, so they don't have to bother you. And when the money is going straight to them, it makes it so much easier to just manage, because you'll see how much money that you've collected in total, and then you'll see how much money was sent to the charity. And so it's very clear, and you can have clear, concise, transparent conversations with your charity.
If you have time for one more, I don't know that we've answered this one yet. For Facebook fundraising, does the charity need to be set up with Facebook to receive the donations? Will the funds go through RunSignup, or will they go through Facebook if they're making a donation on Facebook?
Facebook. So the charity needs to have their payment account set up with Facebook, and the funds will funnel through Facebook. You'll just see that reflection in the RunSignup reporting, but the funds will actually be through Facebook.
Yes, and the totals will match on Facebook and on the RunSignup side as far as the actual fundraising page, but Facebook money goes through Facebook, RunSignup money goes through RunSignup. We have a few more questions, and we will reach out to anybody who didn't get their question answered, or you can reach out to any of us. You can reach out to me directly at info@givesignup.org, or Whitney is Whitney@RunSignup, or all of our GiveSignup people are here as well. So any of us can answer your questions, but I can also reach out to people later this week. So
thank you, guys.
Whitney. Our next presentation is Chris in 9 minutes on how to set up a ticket event on GiveSignup. So if you'd like to stick around for that, it will be entertaining because it's Chris. So I'm going to mute now for the next few minutes, and then we will be back at 2 o'clock on the dot for that.